This is John from the University Skills Academy, and in this session we're going to talk about scheduling your time. Welcome everybody, this is John from the University Skills Academy. Today we are going to talk about scheduling your time. Firstly, let's just look at the template we have here. It's called a weekly schedule, and there's two versions. There's one for the Middle East where the weekend starts on Friday, goes to Saturday, and the working week starts on Sunday. There's another version that is for the Western world. The working week starts on Monday, the weekend is Saturday, Sunday. Everything else is exactly the same. We have a 24-hour clock down the side here. We have roles for the week. We have an area for sharpening the saw and the physical, mental, spiritual, social, emotional stuff. We have 7 days of the week, mornings, evenings for appointment, and the number one priorities that must happen, and this is the blank template. What I've done to make it easier for you to complete the exercise is include a couple of mathematical formulas. For the sharpening the saw, it is a sum. Because I'm using words and numbers, it's an Excel count here. And what I'm doing is I've had a remainder or a modular taking away the amount used from the amount out of the day. So when we start with nothing in the way of an occupation or any activities whatsoever, we have 24 hours in a day all across the week. Let's have a look. Now I'll change a few more stats at the end of this towards the end of the lecture, but we'll worry about that at the end of the lecture. What we're going to do now is fill this in as though I were a university student or a TAFE student, a polytechnic, a college student, even a high school student, and see what we get. Well, the very first thing I would do is fill in my social life, because if you don't fill it in first, you will never get to do it. It'll just get rubbed out and you'll never get to it. And that's one of the things that we need to do regarding sharpening the saw. So I've given myself 3 hours out on Friday night with the boys to go and have a cordial or a beer or see a movie or shoot a bit of pool, and 3 hours dedicated to my family Sunday evening. And I've done that first, and I've just called that social, and it's counted up here as 6 hours of social and emotional stuff, and the total is currently 6 hours. The next thing we need to do is fill in our sleep patterns. So I go to bed at 10 o'clock and I get up at 6. Okay, first daylight is 6, except on Saturdays, because I go to bed an hour later. So I sleep in an hour later, and I'll end up going to bed a bit earlier on Sunday. But there's my sleep, and if you look there, on Mondays I've already spent 8 hours, 8 hours, 8 hours all the way through. 10 hours here because I've skipped 1 hour of sleep, but there's 9 hours of activity because I've made up for that hour and I'm a bit busier here, so I've already spent 11 hours on Sunday. Next thing I'll do is I'll fill in my compulsory subjects. Now this is a typical first year business degree where you have statistics, accounting, law, information systems, and these are my lectures. So I have an 8 o'clock on Monday lecture for accounting, a tutorial at 11, and an accounting lab at 12 through to 1, a law lecture from 3 to 3:30, and a law lab or law tutorial from 6 to 6:30. Information systems Tuesday at 10, stats lecture 12 on Tuesday, information systems tutorial 10 o'clock, only thing on Wednesday there. Information systems lab 11 and 12, stats tutorial at 2, stats lab, a horrible time to have anything Friday afternoon, but there it is. So they're my compulsory classes. And that comes to 15 hours of contact. So the next thing I do is I fill in how I'm going to get about. I do my travelling. So I'm going to leave for campus every day at the same time. 7 o'clock train puts me in class by 8 o'clock, or potentially in a class or a library by 8 o'clock. On Friday, the gym. And because of my time on a Monday, pretty full day Monday, I leave at 7 o'clock. And I leave at 7 o'clock every day except Fridays. A couple of quick things to look at here. After I've done my compulsory classes, I then put in my physical stuff. So because I've got an hour and a half between a law lecture and a law tutorial Monday night, I squeeze in a 40-minute gym workout. So I do all my physical. I squeeze in another gym workout there on Wednesday and Friday. And on Sunday morning, I go back to the gym. Notice because there's Sunday and Monday workouts, I do my workout early in the morning on a Sunday and late in the evening on the Monday. So it's a longer stretch between. I can still squeeze in my 4 hours. Right, next thing. Travel in the evening. I leave campus every evening except Fridays at the same time, because Friday afternoon when I go home, I do my laundry before I go out with the lads. Notice every single piece of traveling I have travel and read. This is what we call concurrent activity, not to be confused with multitasking. Multitasking is highly ineffective, highly energetic, fatiguing, and really doesn't work. But concurrent activity does. Concurrent activity is typically explained by my laundry routine. We have an automatic washing machine. It takes 20 minutes to do a cycle. I do not have to stand over the washing machine and instruct and supervise the washing machine washing my clothes. I can toss the clothes in, chuck a bit of powder in, close the lid, and walk away. That means for all intensive purposes, for the half hour of loading and hanging out the clothes, I've got 20 minutes to myself. What could I be doing while that washing machine is going? Out of those 2 hours there to get my laundry and ironing done, maybe I could be doing my ironing after the second load from last week or whatever. Maybe I could be doing some maths or a bit of tutorial preparation. There's something other than staring at the washing machine. I don't need to sit there and look at it. That's concurrent activity. I've got an hour's travel each way every day and more on Sundays. You're not going to get an hour's reading in because you're moving from bus to train, from campus to bus, whatever. But if you can get in a good 30 minutes on an hour's journey, that's time very well spent. Even if it's recreational reading or reading around your topic, it's sharpening your saw. It's keeping your reading speed up, which is one of the habits that a great student conducts. If I count up all of my sharpening the saw activities, like the reading, like the gym, like church, like my social and emotional, at this point, I've got nearly 19 hours of fun and games just to keep myself crisp and ready to work academically. Next, well, what I've done here is we are looking at a 10-hour rule. I've split this up into the remainder, the hours spent, and the unallocated time on campus. Now, Monday, as you can see, is chockers. It's a really full day, and I have 3 hours of unallocated time on campus. On Tuesday, however, I have 9 hours of unallocated time. Wednesday, 9 hours of unallocated time. Thursday, 8 hours of unallocated time on campus. Friday, because I come home early to do the washing and the chores, 5 unallocated hours of time on campus. If I use the 10-hour rule, I'm required to do another 25 hours. Okay, I haven't allocated any study time yet. This is just the compulsory attendance and life and sharpening the saw. I have 25 hours to make up. Okay, I have 60 hours available. So of those 60 hours left, I need to do 25 of those in the books. Something really handy. Of those 25 hours, I already have 34 hours available to me on campus. I could do all of my work on campus, all of it, and still have 9 hours up my sleeve to do whatever, socialize, read, something other than that, take up a sport, be part of a club, part of the chess club, part of the IT club, part of a mountaineering club. The good things we can do on campus. Okay, we're going to look at how we spend our time on campus in the next session, and we'll need this. So please fill in this sheet as per your timetable. Notice I've even got time for a part-time job. I've got everything here. All this white space needs to be spent in the books, but spent the right way. We'll talk about that in the next session. Please fill in this form and come back for the next session with it filled in, and we'll have a discussion about what to do where and why. We'll start with memory work. This has been John from the University Skills Academy. Thank you for your time. We'll see you in the next session.